All right, so here we are. My anus is feeling nice and loose. My sphincter's loose.
Yes.
It's the only way to record these podcasts. Welcome back to World's End Party Plan.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Pseudo, joined once again by my co-host, Layuno.
Hi, everybody. How the fuck you doing, everybody?
I did not miss this. So here we are. We're back for another incredible week.
Yes.
We're here on Monday afternoon. Just a mere few hours before we upload this episode,
huh?
Episode.
See, this episode is going to be so special. It has a new word for it. Episode.
Episode, you know, it's the same episode where we talk about how Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, there we go. Fuck yeah, bro.
So you're listening to World's End Party Plan. If you haven't already followed us on Instagram, you can follow us over there on @Webcast. That's @WEPPCAST. You can also follow me on Instagram @DonnieEgo. Also, you know, I never plug this, but go follow me on Twitter as well. You can follow me @DonnieEgoDeath.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
Why not?
check it out. One of these days, you're going to get a fucking
Ego death.
Twitter or social media that you actually use.
Yes.
You know, you do have a Twitter.
Yes, but I just incessantly retweet shit.
That's all you do, because we follow
it.
a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
So let me turn you up a little bit over here.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, so my sphincter's feeling a little loose today.
Oh, good, man.
Man, I've had hemorrhoids, bro.
Wow.
I'm just going to come out and say it, man.
Man, this man got some witch hazel.
I got some witch hazel.
This man rubbed this liquid over his hemorrhoids and shit.
I do, and it feels nice.
You know?
Let me tell you what.
Apparently, it diminished some shit, you know?
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't think I have a terrible case of hemorrhoids because, like, I'll be walking throughout the day and I'm totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
there's some people that get completely debilitated from hemorrhoids.
Oh, jeez.
Like, there's some people, man, I was talking to a coworker and he was like,
Oh, no.
you got to get yourself a sitz bath, man.
Oh, what?
Shouts out to my coworker. Not going to name drop.
A sitz bath?
Sitz bath.
What is this?
SITZ. It's like something, I think it's like a little plastic tub that you put on the toilet and you sit in, and it's like warm water or hot water, and you put like salt in it. It's supposed to like reduce swelling of hemorrhoids.
Oh, it splashes against your asshole? Is that what it does?
Well, you rest your asshole in it. So it's, you know, you get your sphincter all loose, you sit down for like 10 or 15 minutes or something.
Shit, okay.
You just sit there. He described it to me in detail.
Sitting there. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
All right,
Have you ever suffered from any sort of anal problems?
Anal problem? No, except when fucking I buy the shitty toilet paper and shit. You know,
Oh,
it's
man.
too rough.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But besides that, though, no.
I think that's honestly what causes hemorrhoids for me sometimes, because this is not the first time I've had it. Like, I've had it a couple of times before this throughout my life.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
Maybe
man,
I'm just squeezing too hard, man.
maybe
listen, I'm pushing.
Man, maybe you are, bro. But listen, man, fucking your boy had to bring out the fucking baby wipes, man. You know,
I wish. I don't have baby wipes.
You know, because my mom bought some and I didn't complain. I'm like, all right, fuck, I'll use this shit. And like, honestly,
I hope they're the flushable kind.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
And you know, those aren't even good for your septic tank either.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Baby wipes?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Oh, they demolish, because like how toilet paper works is it's supposed to break down in the water and in the pipes, in the plumbing. Like it's supposed to shred down
Okay.
into like little bits, and then it's stored in the septic tank and has to be cleaned out every however maybe it's once a decade or something. It has to get taken care of.
Damn.
Or whatever, until there's problems basically.
No,
Then you
I feel you.
get that taken care of. But yeah, the baby wipes don't break down, I guess. That's
Fuck,
what they say.
bro.
Even the flushable kinds don't quite break down. That's why you can't use, like, you know, don't be using McDonald's napkins to wipe your ass, you know.
Yeah.
Unless if you're in a McDonald's bathroom,
Then fuck it.
then fuck it.
They'll
you
do
know?
it. They'll deal with it.
Man, I do a whole bunch of terrible shit in public bathrooms, man.
Oh God.
Like, I don't care. I'll wipe my ass with anything, man. Give me an old newspaper.
Oh jeez. Oh God.
You know what I mean? I could read the comics while I'm wiping my ass with the sports section.
Oh jeez. You know what, man? It was always awkward because like when I used to work at my old job, fucking I used to go in and unless if I had to go take a shit, I used to bring in my headphones and shit just to put on because I would have like another guy to my right taking a mean, angry shit. Fucking only what I'd
Like
be
one of
hearing.
those aggressive ones where you're like, you're kind of grunting through it.
Yeah, so like literally it'd be like a oh God. Woo.
Was it an older guy or a younger guy?
Like, there were always these boomers. They're like 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds and shit like
Yeah,
that.
because boomers don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah, they don't.
They'll
No,
just
no.
they'll spread their cheeks out and they'll shit in public, man. They'll be like, I fought in Nam, I can shit wherever I want.
Oh yeah, totally. You know,
Yeah.
and then like then it smells like fucking like decaying bodies
Oh yeah.
that were left in Vietnam, and after they were done, you know, fucking, and then they come out like laughing and shit. Like, what the fuck you laughing for, you nasty fuck? You goofy fuck. What the fuck is that, man? I just heard you fucking leak out a fucking salamander at your asshole.
Yeah.
And you're laughing? Fuck you, bro. It's nasty.
That's me in 30 years. Man.
So I had so I had to bring in my fucking noise canceling headphones to block this shit out. No, pun intended. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And get the job done, bro.
Yeah, listen, man.
Fucking
You got to do what
pigs.
you got to do. You got to pull out the headphones. You got to do whatever.
Jeez, dude.
You got to sing to yourself sometimes when you don't have the headphones. I'll be in the
Well.
bathroom like, let's give them something to talk about.
Oh my god, dude. Hey, oh.
So, speaking of, while we're bantering, because I know everybody out here doesn't want us to get to the actual topic.
Of course
Like
not.
last time we did our last top 10 albums,
Yeah.
we didn't even get to the top 10 albums until like 40 minutes in or something.
Are you sure?
That's why it was over 2 hours, yeah.
Oh shit. Fuck me, bro.
But this will segue into the overall topic. I'm not going to release that information. I mean, you'll know because when you click on the episode, it'll have the title.
I will not release this information.
Listen, I'm trying to make this transition right. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Brendan.
You can do it. I believe in you.
So, big controversy has been happening recently. That was a weird noise that just happened in my headphones.
How dare you?
Donald Trump decided to basically start World War III.
Bam, 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 Iran.
Bam, bam, ba, ba, wah, 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 wah.
My God, man. Fuck yeah, bro.
So I guess he decided to go against the recommendations of his advisors.
Yes, of his warmongering advisors. The fact that your advisors who are warmongers, if they even tell you not
And
to
they're
do
like,
this
hey,
shit,
this is a bad idea.
oh, even this. All right, come on, even for us, this is a bad idea. All right, well, fuck it. Listen, man, I have to show my big dick energy. My big pee-pee energy has to be on full flare today. So I will throw today a massive Molotov fucking hawk at this fucking Iranian motherfucker and show my dominance. Hashtag big pee-pee energy.
Yeah, what he said.
I'm quoting, dude.
So he went out. He decided to. I'm sure you're all familiar with what happened in the news. He decided to go out of his way and fucking bomb a guy with a drone strike, a motherfucker,
A very important guy.
a very important guy. And
Piece
we're
of
talking
shit, but
about a guy
important.
he's a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. And did he deserve to live? I mean, that's not any of us to tell. But I will say though, he did help basically eradicate ISIS from Iran.
Mm.
And they're coming in and they're citing that, if we take care of this guy, then we don't have to worry about future terrorism. Meanwhile, Iran's honestly like, listen, I'm not trying to buddy with Iran. Like, I'm not trying to do that personally. But
Yo.
I will say, like, these guys have been kind of bending over backwards for us for a long time now.
Yeah, not only that, but we don't give a fuck about stopping terrorism. You
No,
kidding
they've
me?
been going by. I mean,
We fund terrorists, homie.
Oh, of course. We funded.
Fucking
If you think about the history of terrorism in the U.S., we funded all of them.
And a lot of them we started, or at least we influenced.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, could we say that ISIS would exist if it wasn't for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan? I don't know.
I don't know, but they probably wouldn't come after us,
At
if
least
we
not as
didn't get
hard.
our fucking fat ass noses involved.
Tell me about it.
Brendan.
God. I'm sued. My nose is a fucking triangle.
My nose is perfectly proportioned for my face.
So is mine.
Eh.
Yeah.
Eh.
Fuck you, bro, with your fucking, you got no meat in your fucking nose. Listen,
I'm
man.
okay with that. Listen, man. That's why people get their noses reduced in size. I never once met somebody that's like, yeah, I got my nose enhanced.
Fuck yeah, bro. Well,
I need a large stinking honker. That's what I need.
how dare you? It works, man. I smell good with this shit.
So getting back to the Iran situation, do you think that this whole World War III thing, the hashtag, it was trending a couple days ago? I think it was
Yeah.
on the 3rd. It was trending. Like, do you think that's just kind of overblown nonsense?
Yes, big time, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like as I was sharing with you, because we had a lot of personal talks about it, and like I'll just reiterate for the audience what I was saying to you. It's that Iran, if they actually did now obviously we heard some news today where they wouldn't really do this, but assuming that they were dumb enough to actually try and attack us on the homeland, on the home front, fucking we would have no problem in obliterating them in about a second. So it's like it's look, I think the bigger concern here is just going to be Iran's allies and what they're going to do, and if they're going to actually partner with Iran to do some sort of like counter initiative towards like our troops.
Well, I think that's also why I think the idea of World War III is scarier than the idea of just war with Iran, because it's never nowadays. There's never going to be a war between any major countries without other countries getting involved these days.
Yeah.
Like there's no more Vietnam wars. You know, there's no more just Korean wars. Like it's going to be, you know, world wars from here on out.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing is that the funny thing too is in terms of like, sure, like, we'll still send in troops, but a lot of these active wars have been happening with like machinery, you know, it's like drones and stuff like that. You know, so people are like, oh, we're gonna get drafted. Like, this don't need to get fucking drafted. We don't need you. Fucking they have missiles out the fucking asshole. They can just launch and shit.
Yeah.
You know, all I need is just a few thousand sprinkled here and there, and that's it.
Man, I'll tell you what, dude. If war was like what it was like 600 years ago, where people were just running around with swords, there would be a lot less wars.
Oh my god.
You know, there'd be a lot less bloodshed. I think.
Listen, man, I don't want to get stabbed, homie. I don't want to.
Yeah, I low key, honestly, I would totally be a fucking knight.
I can see you doing that. That fucking hurts, bro. Fucking my fucking pee-pee hole,
Yo, that
man.
thing's sharp, man.
You know,
What are you doing with that thing?
Man, her ball got his dick cut off.
We
with that
should
shit,
go
bro.
back to swords, is what I'm saying.
Oh, definitely, dude.
I'm rooting for. You know what? I'm a fan of war.
You know what we should do, dude? Hold on, wait. Remember that fucking clip you showed me on YouTube with the guys who fucking made the swords and the guy who tested it out? He's like, this sword, it'll cut. It'll kill. That motherfucker. Have that motherfucker test all the swords. Shit.
Dude, I'd fucking love that, man. I love Forged in Fire.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so yeah, lately I've been going on YouTube and watching clips of Forged in Fire. And it's this one like Asian guy that like does all the testing. And
He's so enthusiastic.
but he's so enthusiastic. Well, he's probably getting paid millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
But he comes in and he's just like, the way he says it, he's like, your sword, sir, it'll kill.
Yeah.
Like he's so
it'll kill. You know, it'll cut. It'll this.
I love it though. I love it because I
Apparently,
like the
motherfucker.
forging because I like to see like, oh, how do they make these fucking monster swords? You know what I mean? Like
Man.
they're making the handles and shit. It's just so interesting. I
The
don't know.
problem with your blade, sir, is your blade is too unwieldy. It's too heavy for my hands.
Okay.
But it was able to cut something. So it'll work. But you still lose because this other guy had a slightly lighter blade.
Yeah, there's definitely sometimes where it's a little contentious, you know.
All right. Anyways.
So yeah, I agree with the overall point though. I think the World War III, I think that's kind of blown it out of proportion.
Yeah.
But I will say, I mean, it's not something to scoff at either.
No.
So, and I want to be the first to say, I mean, you all have been sharing fucking retarded memes on Facebook, and I'd prefer you guys to stop doing that and
Stop it.
listen to the podcast instead.
Get help. Stop it.
Yeah, seriously, get help.
I'm not gonna-
Nobody cares about your middle-aged mom memes.
Don't do drugs. Get help.
So,
No.
but it's a, you know, go after Trump. I'll just be the first to say I had nothing to do with this.
God damn.
Go after Trump.
Well, speaking of which,
Kill his ass. I don't care.
Fuck him. Fuck him. No, but here's the thing though, is that
I mean, like, how much longer does he have left anyway?
you never
at
know,
this
dude.
point?
He's rich, homie.
He's the type of guy, he's rich, but you know what happens with these rich old fucks? Is that they look really good until they're like 80, then suddenly it's like, boom, he's dead.
Oh, God.
Like you see him a year later at a press conference and you're just like, what the fuck happened?
Well, you know what's nuts about that shit? Fucking look at like William Shatner. He's like what, like late 70s, right? Early
Yeah.
80s, and he's look like he's fucking 60.
That's true, but one of these days it'll catch up to him.
I guess so.
But he's not Trump, though. He's not doing fucking amphetamines and, you know, fucking prostitutes.
Molly. Woo.
Honestly, William Shatner might be fucking prostitutes.
That's pretty possible, dude. No, but look, it
Prostitutes. I will fuck.
No, I want to fuck the pussy dirty with no condom, no lube. No, again, but back to Trump though. So we were reading a thing on Twitter earlier, an official report about Iran saying that if any retaliation will happen, it shouldn't be against the American public. It should be against the president, right?
Yeah.
and then the troops, basically.
And that just goes to show right off the bat that it's not Iran government being like, let's reinforce these terrorist organizations.
Yeah,
They're the ones in there fighting against them.
yeah.
I mean, you can see the footage of the millions of people lined the streets for this guy's funeral that we killed.
Fucking nuts, dude. Like literally, like this man had no idea the fuck he started.
No.
I don't think he even
I'm
cared.
half convinced it's because he's an idiot, and then half, well, I mean, that kind of applies to the other half of the scenario here, but he's trying to get reelected, so I think it's like, hey, let's rally the base. Let's get them all angry. Let's get them all into this.
Fuck them Indians. They're from the Middle East. Whatever. Fuck them Indians.
So I don't, because I mean, if you look back to what Bill Clinton was doing before he left office, you know, he was calling for airstrikes too, so.
Fucking neolib asshole. No, fucking. What was I to tell you?
I remember going back like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
No.
Is it back early Obama days, being like hearing like Bill Clinton was the best president, man.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was the best.
And give us a surplus.
He might have
Look at
been
that.
getting his dick sucked in the office and
Fuck
sticking
yeah.
cigars into women's coochies, but you know what?
Here,
He was the best.
look here, little lady. I'm gonna stick my little cigar here and do a little right on the side. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, stand still. What? You hurts? Whatever. Fuck you. Don't be a little bitch.
All right. So do you have anything else you want to say about that? Because I want to get into what the meat and potatoes of this episode is.
Totally. I mean, I would say the last thing is that in terms of rallying up the base, yeah, I think that tactic will work, assuming that let's say a Joe Biden or a Pete Buttigieg, wins on the Democratic side. Then I can see his base getting more riled up, be like, yo, fuck it, we'll come out. But if it's someone like a Bernie, someone who wants diplomacy, which I think a lot more Americans want diplomacy than they do war,
100%.
then,
I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of mom memes on Facebook, man. A lot of middle-aged racist
of course
memes. And it's like I was seeing somebody posted that I went to high school with. So fuck this person for posting this because it's kind of insensitive. So fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Posted anybody that's scared of World War III or just afraid of guns.
They're afraid of fucking guns.
First of all, way to point out the obvious. Second of all, no, you know what people are afraid of? They're afraid of losing their brothers and sisters that actually fight in the fucking wars, you asshole.
They're just pussies.
This was a woman that shared this too, man.
Fucking women.
Minority too.
You know what's funny though, and what was I
I'm just
tell
like,
you?
man, come on.
These are the same.
They do not know a single person that's been deployed overseas because I can name like 7 right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I think these are the same people who don't understand what the term military style weapon even means. Like real fast, when I was in political science class, we're getting into a debate about like banning certain kinds of guns, right? And he was like, "But I don't understand why they want to ban military style. Why should we ban it just for how it looks?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like he fucked my mind for a second because I didn't think that he actually took it literally. That he thought that it meant the actual fucking aesthetic of the gun. I was like, no. I'm talking about the fucking function of it.
Yeah.
Like can it go bang, bang, bang a million times a second and
Yeah.
mow down children?
Fully automatic. It has a grip on it, so it's easy to control for rapid fire ammunition.
And look,
rounds,
man, and if
high caliber weapons.
And look, man, if anyone's an idiot on guns, it's me. But at least I fucking knew what the fuck that meant.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who owns guns. He was like talking about how he's a fucking gun tooting fucking woo motherfucker, and it's just like, oh, they want to ban how it looks, you fucking twat. It's just like Jesus Christ. So that's the thing. So I want to be concerned about them because they're just in a vacuum, because on social media everyone wants to be fucking vocal.
I'm not concerned about anybody, man. Nothing fucking scares me.
I'm not kidding. In terms of like like them coming out and shit,
Spiders.
whatever.
If spiders got guns, that would be. I'd kill myself.
Yes.
Not even joking.
Well, what kind of spiders, man? Tarantulas?
Any kind.
Any kind, huh?
Any kind. Even fucking daddy long legs.
Ooh.
Fuck them the worst. Daddy long legs are the fucking worst.
They're weird.
Because they're just so weird looking.
They're very weird.
And they're so harmless. And that's what makes it like, it's sinister how harmless they are.
I had one in my house back in the late 90s
They're
and
fucking
shit.
big, man.
They are. I remember it looked like a brown bean, but it had like long ass fucking legs.
Yeah, fuck
and I'm
those
like,
assholes.
Like, ew.
Fucking skipping leg day. Fuck those.
Skipping like
So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the
Yes.
topic of the episode today.
Let's eat it,
Let me
bro.
just adjust the volume levels.
Yeah, bro. Let's get into this Irish famine, homie. Of potatoes.
It's exactly what we're getting into. We're talking about famine. Well, famine does apply to a certain aspect of what we're talking about today.
That is true. Potatoes.
Today's episode,
Yes.
World's End Party Plan,
Yes.
gives you a history lesson
Oh.
and an economic lesson.
Oh.
Capitalism
Yeah.
versus communism. Today, it's the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, after years of not knowing what the fuck either of them are and just associating communism with Russia and capitalism with America, finally you can know. You can come here, listen to a bunch of fucking Neanderthals.
Yes.
By that, I mean the two of us.
Yes.
Talk basically out of our asses for the next hour.
Preach it.
So we hope you enjoy that. I got my notes here, man. Trust me, we're all set up. We were going to do this episode last night, but then I said, I need to do some more research. I just don't feel right. And guess what? It's still going to be terrible. So I hope you enjoy.
Well, just to give you guys the level of caliber to expect, fucking Suda had to dig in his garage and find his old notebooks from 5th grade in social studies class.
Oh, yeah, totally.
He had to highlight this shit, and like it was a feat, man.
Totally. I had to dig in there, right
Dust it off.
right underneath my family's Nazi memorabilia.
Yes.
In the back corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Yes.
So let's take a look at capitalism. I figured we can start there because America,
America.
America comes first.
America.
Now, let me tell you what.
My sphincter is
My name
America.
is Jimmy Joe. And right now, I got to say, living in a capitalistic America has got to be the best goddamn feeling I got.
Yeah, I love fascism.
Ain't nothing better than sitting on the couch, drinking a cold PBR,
Yeah.
talking about capitalism. I know a whole bunch about capitalism. In fact, none of this is being read off of Wikipedia that I printed out. That's in my hand right now.
Listen, man, I love capital letters too, man.
Yeah.
It's some good shit, homie.
Tell me, how do you spell capital?
Let me see. ASMRFUCK.
ASMR fuck?
Asthma fuck.
Asthma fuck. Okay, I got you.
So basically,
I gotcha.
So basically, Asthma fucking your mother. She started to yell really loud and shit, and it got interrupted.
So, Mr. Liuno. Mr. Liuno, let's bring
Yes.
it serious.
Oh yeah. Hi. Hello.
What do you know about capitalism?
I think I have a decent understanding.
Okay.
You know, I know that.
Give me a bullet point. Give me
All right.
give me something about capitalism. Something that you know.
Well, capital letters is definitely motivated by profit, the profit motive.
Okay.
Yeah, I know business is very important.
Okay.
I know having supply and demand is a very important thing in capitalism.
Okay.
You know, people actually wanting these shits. You know, if not, okay, the fucking price fucking goes down, homie. Don't want this shit more? Goes the fuck up, homie.
As Ricky from Trailer Park Boys always says, it's about supply and command, boys.
Supply and command. There we go. Yeah,
So before I get into what capitalism is,
Yes.
well, let me read you this is, again, guys, this is Wikipedia research.
Yes.
So this is 5-cent research right here.
the wiki.
Capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production and their operation for profit. Characteristics central to capitalism include, Brennan, you said this all, private property, capital accumulation, wage labor, voluntary exchange, a price system, and competitive markets.
Ooh,
So
your boy.
you basically nailed it.
Yeah, bro.
So we're talking, a lot of you at home might be thinking, that's America.
That's
America right there.
baby.
You would actually be surprised at how many compromises we have between different economic systems. Like, it's not just raw capitalism. It's not just laissez-faire, which I'll describe what that is later on.
Yes. These French words.
But before I get into a little bit of the history and the etymology of the word, I figured, why not run through Wikipedia very graciously has a list of characteristics that describe what capitalism is for all of us dumbasses at home that
So-
just want the Spark Notes version.
So for all of you who want to know if you have cancer, here's what you need to know.
This is what you need to know. In general, capitalism as an economic system and mode of production can be summarized by
Oh,
the following.
ooh, hit me.
Capital accumulation, which is the production for profit and accumulation as the implicit purpose of all or most of production, construction, or elimination of production formerly carried out on a common social or private household base.
Yeah, what he said.
Exactly. Commodity production. Production for exchange on a market to maximize exchange value. Fuck these big words.
What are these fucking French words you're reading to me there, Billy Bob?
Listen, private ownership of the means of production. We get that. High levels of wage labor. We understand what that is.
Sure.
The investment of money to make a profit. Basically, it's just a bunch of greedy assholes that are fat, wearing suits and top hats, sitting
Yeah.
and smoking cigars.
The
and
Monopoly
saying-
guy, basically.
Basically. You get it.
Fucking shit. Yeah, bro.
Let me reorient myself here. I made myself a goddamn mess.
Look, man, you're like
I'm
a
just
fucking
trying to
tornado
figure
over
this
here.
out.
Look at you, man. What the fuck? Piece of shit.
So let's start with the etymology of the word. So, believe it or not, so I'm going to say, before I even get into this, capitalism was a lot harder to look into than communism. Like, we're talking 55 pages I had to print out just to get the Wikipedia. This is just a Wikipedia page. So, like, the base level of knowledge you need to know.
Damn.
And for communism, which we're going to get into a little bit later, was 11 pages or 12 pages. So it just goes to show that communism was a lot more of a timeline that you can kind of follow and see the rise and fall and the idea, and it still exists today, but we'll get into that.
Yeesh.
Capitalism, man, so much more convoluted. So honestly, it took me so long. That's why I needed an extra day, because just capitalism alone, I was sitting there for 3 hours trying to piece it all together for everybody. So
Yeah, bro.
bear with me on this one.
Strap
So believe
yourselves
it or
in.
not, Brendan,
Yes.
when you think of capitalism, do you think, I'm sure you think the same thing like I just said earlier. You think about the dudes in the fat suits, those chubby motherfuckers, and they're like, ooh, yes.
Well,
Oh, yes.
well,
Flicking the mustache and the...
some of them, but some of them are also kind of skinny and anorexic, and they wear really shitty ties.
and they got wife problems, but they're also rich. So yeah, I've envisioned those too.
Listen, man, I'm trying to paint a picture here. I don't know what you're getting into.
Look, buddy, look, they're not all fat. Most of them are fat, but some of them are skinny.
And then throughout, so this is how this episode's going to work as well. Throughout my reading,
Am I wrong though?
there is some skinny ones,
There's
some skinny ones out there,
man. Fucking Bill Gates, you know.
but it's not because they can't afford to eat.
Fair point, motherfucker.
So, but here how it's going to work. So we have a series of guests that want to get involved with the episode. So, and mind you, we're talking high profile people up in here.
That's right.
And then throughout my reading of the Wikipedia page for capitalism and giving you my thoughts and my ideas, I'm going to call on some of my guests for just an idea what their thoughts are and what I'm talking about at the time. So, you ready for this, Brendan?
Sure.
Okay, you got the door open. You ready to send them in when they're...
Wait, hold on one sec. Wait, motherfucker.
Okay.
All right. They're at the ready.
So looking at the etymology, so this is basically etymology for all you dumbasses at home. It just basically means where does like the word come from, like what the vocabulary, where that word, the definition, where does it come from in history?
Episcopalian, yeah.
So the term capitalist, meaning an owner of capital, appeared earlier than the term capitalism and dates to the mid-17th century. So we're talking 1600s, a little later on. But that's the word capitalist. But believe it or not, actually, capital emerged in the 12th to 13th centuries to refer to funds, stock of merchandise, sum of money, or money-carrying interest. Now, by 1283, it was used in the sense of the capital assets of trading firm was often interchanged with other words, wealth, money, funds, goods, assets. That being said, the idea of capitalism... Hold on.
Don't fuck it up, bro.
It's leading into the wrong page here.
Look, bro. Wow.
I'm so fucking it up.
I'm so hood.
So, so now we got the word capital. So it's basically when you hear the word capital, you know that it's wealth, money, funds, goods, or assets. And that capital spelled CAPITALE. There's an E at the end of it. I'm assuming it's some sort of like Spanish or Mexican or something. So that was around the year, the 12th, 13th century that first came about. People were trading with each other back then. They were all dirty. Nobody showered. It's just nasty back then.
Fucking assholes.
But the real idea, the term capitalism, so we're talking about now, like we're finally getting into the idea of what capitalism as an economic system means.
Yeah.
First really appears, a guy wrote about it. His name was like Louis Blanc.
Louis C.K.
Yeah. Louis C.K. wrote about it in 1850. He said, and quote, "What I call capitalism, that is to say the appropriation of capital by some of the exclusion of others."
Yep.
And then another guy, fucking Pierre Joseph Proudhon in 1861.
Wait, Proudhon?
Proudhon.
That sounds like some fucking like porn star name, dude. That's a big Proudhon there, little motherfucker.
I disagree. And then later on, you're going to see our boys here. And these are our boys.
Yes.
Because, at the end of the day, man, fuck capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Karl Marx and Frederick Engels referred to the capitalistic system and to the capitalist mode of production in Capital, 1867. They wrote about that. They're going to pop up a little later on, and I'm sure you all at home know who the fuck Karl Marx is.
Yeah, bro. My father.
He's our boy. Our big bearded baby boy.
Yeah, bro. I don't know about that, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while I get into the history of it, it'd be nice to get my reactions. I want to hear the reactions of some of our guests outside.
Sure. Okay.
Now, I'm not exactly familiar with the list because, Brennan, you're the one that made all the calls to have the guests come on.
Yeah. I mean, hold on.
Do we have
now.
a first one?
Let me see here. Well, let me see. I'm about to pull this shit up. Let me see who can pop in.
Now,
here
they're all outside, so you can pick any order you want. It doesn't matter.
That I could. All right. Let's see here. So I'm not sure we can get all them in today.
Okay.
But
just get the big ones because you know what? The other ones can go fuck off.
So I would say the first one we should bring in is a duck.
A duck.
There's a duck outside that has some strong opinions on this shit.
Pick a different one.
I
don't want to hear a duck.
You hate a duck?
Fuck ducks, man.
I told the motherfucker. All right, fine, whatever. All right. So there is also there's Palpatine. There's Emperor Palpatine.
From Star Wars.
Yeah, he has some. He has some views on this shit.
Okay, bring him in. In.
All right, come in there, Palpy.
Yes, I am here.
All right, let me ask the question. I'm going to interview you. I just got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
So, if I have this correctly, let me look at my paperwork here.
Yes.
You run something called the Empire?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The Empire's.
And they
very
call you
strong.
Sitch?
Sith.
Sith. Okay.
I am a Sith Lord.
Okay. So, capitalism. Now, what kind of what are you running over there? What you got going on?
We have a system that is very much like a mixture of fascism, oligarchy, and capitalism all in one.
Okay. Do you care about money over there, or you guys just float? I know you guys float around a lot. I don't know. Something about laser swords.
We care a lot about credits, about money. We need money in order to dominate the galaxy.
Okay. You are really creeping me out. I'm giving up on this whole bit. Okay, anyway.
Lord Vida will be happy to.
Okay, let's get this guy out of here. Come on. Somebody, Brennan.
Palpy, get the fuck out of here.
No.
Yes, fucking piece of shit.
Fine.
Great.
All right, Brennan, get this guy out of
Little
here.
freaky old man. All
Get
right,
this
fine.
fucker out of here.
You fucking wizard. Go play with your fucking dick hole later on tonight, little fucker. All right. There we go. That's all right. So, want to bring the next guest in?
All right, we got time for one more.
All right.
We got time for one more. You know, I'm going to pick the guest this time.
Oh, all right.
Because I got, we actually have an assistant. This is new for the podcast.
Oh, shit.
We have an assistant, and this assistant, who will not be named, gave me the list of people outside.
All right.
So Kurt Cobain is on the list.
Wow.
Pretty sure he died
Well,
a long time ago.
you ever seen Star Wars? The guy, he has the Force Ghost.
Meatloaf. Now, is this like so I'm confused now. Is this meatloaf as in the food, or is this meatloaf as in the man?
The fat man.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got meatloaf here,
Yeah, we do.
and he considers himself a capitalist.
Yeah, definitely. This man, he loves his capital, especially food. He loves to
Okay.
capitalize on the food, homie.
All right. I'm gonna get into the history now.
All right, fuck him
We
then.
can call on the guest later on.
All right, then.
Fuck the guest. Diabetes
Yes,
on the list.
Definitely.
Fucking diabetes.
definitely.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, bro.
Makes sense.
Disease.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into the history, Brennan. Let you
Man.
know,
Yeah, bro.
Mr. Senor
Man.
Papi Chulo.
Yes, sir.
Capitalism in the modern form can be traced to the emergence of agrarian capitalism and mercantilism in the early Renaissance in the city-states like Florence. Capitalism existed incipiently on a small scale for centuries in the form of merchant, renting, lending activities, and occasionally a small-scale industry with some wage labor. So, again, like I said, this is all fucking convoluted bullshit now that I look at it. You know why? Because it's been around forever, you think? And by the way, for all of you out there that are like, yeehaw, America, capitalism, guess who started it?
Ooh.
Your pal, the Arabs.
Whoa.
Arabs, I don't even know how to say
Wait,
this word.
the Indians started this shit?
Promulgated. No. What?
The Indians started this shit?
Arabs.
Yeah, the Indians.
No.
Oh, fuck. I thought they were the same goddamn thing.
Arabs promulgated, I
Fuck.
don't even know how to say that word, capitalist economic policies such as free trade and banking. Their use of Indo-Arabic numerals.
Exactly. Indians.
Indo-Arabic.
Yeah. Indian.
No, you know why it's called Indo-Arabic?
Why?
Is because there was Indo and then there was Arabic. They were two separate things that merged.
The fucking is
Asshole.
Indo. The fuck is that?
Indo is Indian, man.
Oh, there we go. They're Indians.
No, if Arab was Indian, it would just be Arabic numerals. It wasn't Indo-Arabic
Oh,
numerals.
fuck. Whatever.
That means that there were
there.
two cultures that came together.
Oh,
War? You ever hear like the Franco-Prussian War? Because it was two fucking countries that came together. It wasn't the same place, you fucking uncultured swine.
Frank Ocean. What the fuck is this now?
They facilitated bookkeeping, was what I'm trying to say. They created numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got those fingers on your hand. You can count with dumbass.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, like my middle finger right here.
Yeah, exactly like that one.
Gotcha. Okay.
These innovations migrated to Europe through trade partners in cities such as Venice and Pisa. I almost said pizza. I am getting a little hungry, though.
Me too.
Capital and commercial trade thus existed for much of history, but it did not lead to industrialization or dominate the production process of society. So we're talking about these fancy pants motherfuckers walking around. Like one of these guys, I got a picture here. Look at this little
Basically,
look at this asshole.
The Monopoly guy, but back in the 1400s.
Yeah. They're always, I see paintings from like the 14 and 1500. They always look sad. Like, why is
Always
everybody sad
downtrodden.
back then?
Because like disease and no one had medication.
Nobody took showers back then. That's
Everyone
probably
took
why.
a shit in the streets.
He probably just smelled himself.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah. This guy was Medici.
They couldn't shave.
So it started off in the form of a gray. Maybe
You
you're
know,
right. I don't know. I don't see too many beards in the Renaissance, man.
I know what? I guess so. You know what? You're right. You're
They were
right. You're
shaving.
right.
I feel like they were doing it with like fucking
Swords and spears and shit.
Yeah, like swords or like fucking
Dangerous
fucking like cattle horns and fucking,
There we go.
like I don't know, tusks and shit.
Shit.
So it all started in the form of agrarian capitalism. So the economic foundations of the feudal agricultural system began to shift substantially in the 16th century England as the manorial system had broken down and land began to become concentrated in the hands of few landlords with increasingly large estates.
Wow.
So now we're talking about, a lot of you guys might know the term like feudalism. So we're going back to, again, let's bring it back to knights and shit. Bring it back to let's bring back feudalism, man. Feudalism 2020.
That's right.
Fuck
dude.
it. Like you know what? You can be the lord, Brendan.
Yeah.
You could be the lord. I'll be the knight because I just want to be a knight. Just sounds cool.
Wow, you're fucking ass.
And then we'll get a bunch of fucking peasants, man. We'll get a bunch of stupid serfs. How about the people that listen to this podcast?
Exactly. The plebs in our audience. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then what they do is it's feudalism. So they work for us. I work for you, but I control them because I'm the dude with the sword. And I'm the dude that's going to fuck them up because I work for you. I'm like your personal guard.
So basically, you could pull your dick out with your big pee-pee energy
Yeah.
and be like, get in order, little motherfucker.
Exactly. Get in line.
Get in
Where are
line.
my tomatoes?
Oh, God.
Where
Where are my fucking tomatoes?
And then you take a bite out of the tomato, you say, this is shit, you spit it in their face, and then you say, start over.
Do it again.
Exactly. It's got to be perfect, for the Lord.
That's right.
So we're talking, in the 16th century, so around 1500s, it's that the manorial system, that feudalism kind of like started to break down. Pieces of land inevitably started to become larger and larger, and with the capitalism starting to pour in essence, is people are starting to now be able to do more than just survive. It's less like back then. It was a lot of, I have enough food to survive. I have enough food to give to the king or the lord, and that's about it. I got like two pairs of
Feed me,
shirts.
fucker.
Yeah, I got 2 pairs of shirts or something. And
Now
I-
it's one, bitch.
and I got a wife that's 12 years old.
Not
and that's
anymore.
about it.
I killed her with my dick.
So instead of like a serf-based system of labor, workers were increasingly employed as part of a broader and expanding money-based economy. So things started to expand. Just think that way. Like, I'm not trying to give you I'm not trying to hold your hand through this bullshit because
Jesus Christ, man.
it's so convoluted, man. But I just say things started to expand. People started less thinking about survival and more about like, oh, we can kind of thrive now. So they
Yes.
stopped being idiots, bottom line.
Yeah.
And that by the early 17th century, England was a centralized state in which much of the feudal order of medieval Europe had been swept away. This centralization was strengthened by a good system of roads and by disproportionately large capital city like London, for example. People started living in gigantic cities, which began to expand. The king was in charge of the money.
Yeah.
There you go. Bada bing,
Alright.
bada boom. This leads into basically, I'm going to say the brightest point in human history. Mercantilism, the brightest point in the age of discovery.
Oh, bro.
This is back when our boy, Chris Columbus,
Oh, yeah.
sailed across the sea in 1492, went over, discovered America.
Great guy.
Great fucking dude, man. So wholesome.
Definitely.
Went over there. He definitely didn't rape and murder a bunch of people.
Oh, no.
That wasn't the case.
Well, that's a myth.
So people like Chris Columbus, these assholes, decided, like, you know what, I'm going to go over to India, and I'm going to go find these fucking Indians over there, and I'm going to, not only am I going to enslave them, but I'm going to go find some gold, and then under the guise of, let's go bring them God. Let's go take care of these
Let's
savages.
bring Jeebus.
They wanted to go cut down the savages,
Yeah.
basically. But they were funded by capitalists, essentially. So this whole, now we're leaving the manorial system. We're
Manorial?
leaving, we're leaving feudalism. Like, we're out of there now.
Fuck.
They went to, private guy like private banks, like these guys, basically like loan sharks back in the day. and they were just like, hey, can I get a couple of ships? I need some cash. I need some dudes. Like, I need to go sail over to India, and I'm gonna bring you back a shit ton of golden slaves, man.
Damn shit.
So they did that, and essentially they came over, and when they did that, they weren't just looking for gold. They killed millions and millions and millions of people, and it's disturbing.
Look,
it's really
man,
disturbing.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, in the words of Francis Bacon,
Who?
the purpose of... Do you not know who Francis
What the
Bacon
fuck
is?
is who's Kevin Bacon, homie? Why is Kevin Bacon in this article?
He's a fucking famous historical dude, man.
Sure.
He's like a thinker back in the day.
Oh, a thinker. So am
Yeah.
I.
Yeah,
I
okay.
try at
You're
least.
thinking about what slice of pizza sounds good.
Yeah, buddy.
In the words of Francis Bacon, the purpose of mercantilism was, quote, the opening and well-balancing of trade, the cherishing of manufacturers, the banishing of idleness, the repressing of waste and excess by sumptuary laws, the improvement and husbanding of the soil, the regulation of prices.
It sounds like you're doing the fucking like Adolf Hitler speech and shit.
No.
Like some
I
intense.
think he's here.
This. Oh, he is.
I think he's here. But you know what? I don't think people would be too happy if we let him come in.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people realize that capitalism leads to fascism. Adolf Hitler was a capitalist. You
What?
heard it here. Hashtag
What?
Adolf was capital.
Adolf was a capital letter.
capitalist.
There we go.
So this also opens up another dark period of history.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about mercantilism. We're talking about the age of discovery. What comes along with that, Brendan? I mentioned it a couple of times already.
What happened?
Are you serious right now?
What happened there?
Jesus Christ.
What'd you say there?
Slavery, Brendan.
Yeah. Oh.
Slavery
Yeah,
happened.
that happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like you just don't listen to anything.
Here's what happens: you use these big, large Hitler Nazi speeches, words, and then it starts to kabobble in my head, and then it destroys itself, and then it becomes a fucking clusterfuck.
I'm just waiting for you to have to go to the bathroom again.
That might happen because if you keep fucking my head up with these big fucking capital A words,
So slavery happened, guys.
did it?
So can we blame slavery on capitalism? Who knows? Hey, slavery's been happening for centuries and centuries, thousands of years. There's been slaves.
Listen, man, the
You
proper
can't really say that capitalism causes slavery, but we can definitely see a correlation there. There's something going on.
and especially in terms of how capitalism is executed, that's the biggest
Yes,
thing. Yeah,
exactly.
you know.
Now we're getting into the 1700s.
Ooh.
We had the colonies exist. There's slaves over there. Things are getting kind of nasty for them, and it's unfortunately the white man's lining his pockets.
Woo.
But that's how history works.
The white
and
man.
We can't rewrite it.
Wow.
We're just looking at the facts here. You got a man named Adam Smith. This motherfucker decided to challenge the fundamental mercantilist doctrines, such as the belief that the world's wealth remained constant and that a state could only increase its wealth at the expense of another state.
Wow.
So during this time, you got the Industrial Revolution. We're talking about, close your eyes for a second.
Okay.
Picture, you're in London. You can smell coal in the air.
Oh, shit.
Those little fucking shrimpy looking kids running around going, "I sir, can I have a nickel for your thoughts?"
They're fucking killing
Those little fucking assholes, right? They're trying to pick your pocket now. Watch out.
Fuck, get away from my fucking pocket, motherfucker.
You're walking around. People are covered in
I'm
soot
walking.
and dirt. And it smells like shit.
Yeah,
A couple of homeless people peeing on the corner. I guess not much has changed. Not much has changed from that.
Goddamn. That's nasty. I don't like being
You
here.
hear ships honking. You hear machines going.
Yeah.
You see 9 and 10-year-olds lining up going to work.
Good, little bastards. Stop being at home and playing with your peckers. Go work in some shit. In a factory, right?
And industrial capitalism marked the development of the factory system,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
characterized by complex division of labor between and within work process and the routine of work tasks, and eventually established the domination of the capitalist mode of production. So when people think, like how I said earlier, picturing, like daddy fat sacks, you're picturing like these big fucking dudes.
Daddy
with
fat sacks.
Yeah, I'm picturing like the dudes with like the fucking mutton chops, like the
I do say.
Exactly. You're thinking of those motherfuckers. You're thinking of Mr. Monopoly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like those
that's
guys,
right.
right? Well, that's this time period, man. We're talking Industrial Revolution. We're in they don't give a shit. They're taking slaves. They're fucking just cashing checks left and right. They got kids working for them. They got kids going in and like, you know how like different like the big ass heavy rotary machines and shit. You got to clean those motherfuckers. And they didn't have power washers back then. So you know what they did? Oh, let me hire little fucking Joe, little Jimmy, and fucking 7-year-old kid. His hands are small enough. Why doesn't he climb into the machine and just start cleaning it
Something tells
with
me
his bare hands?
something tells me that nothing ever went wrong when that happened.
Oh, never. That's why there's still child labor.
You know, never. I'm sure they were fucking safe.
And at this time, you think, okay, this is when monopolies are starting. These big businesses are starting to come in, whip their dicks out, and start smacking the face of smaller businesses.
Damn straight, man.
You got
Walmart.
kids working, you got women working, which, I mean, I guess that's good because it's equality, but it's still, I mean, they're being treated like shit.
Yeah, well.
And at this time, industrial Britain eventually abandoned their protectionist policies. So, like they said, you know what? We got lax laws. We don't give a shit because we're just trying to make the money. That's what it's all about. This is capitalism we're talking about here. In the 1840s, Britain adopted a less protectionist policy with the 1846 repeal of the Corns Law and the 1849 repeal of the Navigation Acts. So Britain reduced tariffs and quotas in line with Richard Ricardo's advocacy of free trade. So now we're talking about this is getting into the essence and the definition of capitalism. This is the shit you see in school that puts you to sleep, and I'm glad I could be that asshole that does it to you. So wake the fuck up. Enjoy yourself.
Man, he had too many steroids today.
I did.
God damn
I need
it,
more
man.
caffeine in my life.
Fuck, bro.
All right, let's get into the fucking nitty-gritty. Let's get into modern capitalism. So obviously this happened.
Finally.
Now we're talking in laissez-faire. You know what? I'm throwing away the book. Throwing away the rules right now. We're just going to talk, Brendan.
Woo! That's it.
So Brendan,
Yeah.
am I really I got to use my Touch ID? Fuck.
What you gotta do there, bro?
Got to unlock my fucking computer.
Wow.
I'm going to need the rules back.
Wow.
So basically, at this time, we're getting into the modern day. So when people talk about laissez-faire, they talk about hands-free approach to capitalism. They want, a lot of conservatives nowadays say, why do we need the government to be involved?
Fuck the government.
You could work at Walmart for $10 an hour, and that's totally acceptable.
Nah,
behavior.
$7.
$7. There you go.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Strap yourself up by the bootstraps, motherfuckers. You ain't supposed to stay there
There's
forever.
minimal or no regulation over the pricing mechanism. So basically, you're looking at it. These government, they don't need to get involved. Why do we need fucking rules? Why do we need unions? Fuck the unions. Why do people need fair representation?
Fuck workers, bro. Fuck myself, right?
And the way we've been talking about capitalism tonight seems like it's entirely a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
It seems like, man, these are just a bunch of greedy motherfuckers where the 1% gets rich. Everybody at the bottom, they're working 12 hours a day. They're getting maybe like 30 cents on the dollar, like shit like that. You think it's negative, all that. Well, let me show you the fucking statistics, Brendan. Let me show you the fucking economic growth of the world.
Oh, fuck. Give me some numbers now. Fuck me.
Listen to this. Listen to this right here.
Oh, boy.
Now, remember, this is under the idea of the gross domestic product. This is the GDP.
Sure.
This is some shit that Adam Smith, that stupid motherfucker that wrote that book that one time about capitalism, thinks he's the shit. Fuck Adam Smith.
Yeah.
He got the most fucking generic name in the book.
Yeah, fuck Will
Fuck
Smith.
off.
Yeah.
I think it was a white guy, so
Well, sometimes.
I'm gonna place money on the fact that it's a white guy.
Whatever, buddy. God, man.
So this is his thing right here. Between 1000 and 1820, the world economy grew sixfold, at a faster rate than the population growth.
Wait, you know what I was going to say? I was going to say that sometimes I can't tell the difference
What?
between Will Smith and Al Smith, bruh. Sometimes, man.
Okay, Brendan.
I don't know.
I get it. Ha ha.
Hoo-hee-hoo-hoo.
Take a sip of some red wine right now.
Yeah, that's hot.
Very capitalistic thing to do, man. Red wine.
Wine. Wine up.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, yes. Dry those tears. Oh.
Between 1080 and 1820, the world's economy grew sixfold, a faster rate than the population growth, Brendan. And we're talking about, 1600, 1700, bitches were popping out babies left and right, man.
Bitches were popping, baby.
Listen, every time you listen, I'm pretty convinced in 1700, like the year 1700, every time you fucked, baby came out instantly after. Or they died. It was like a 50-50 back then.
Wow.
Or the wife died in childbirth.
Whatever.
Much like our friend, fucking, Padme and fucking.
Oh, yes, the bitch deserves to die. Fuck you, Palpy, you fucking woman hater. Man, old little bastard.
So individuals enjoyed on
That's
average.
why you died twice, bitch. That's all right. I had to,
All right, that's enough Star Wars for
I had to
today.
tell him off a little bit.
It's enough Star Wars for today.
I'm alive.
At this point, individuals enjoyed on average a 50% increase in income. So we're talking fucking from 1,000 to 1820, man. Boom, suddenly you got nothing. Now you got a whole you have a half a couch now.
Wow.
50% increase in income.
Yeah,
Okay, like now I can afford this rhubarb.
Yeah.
That I'm going to eat later. I've never had a rhubarb.
Wow.
Yeah.
How dare you? You little fucking.
Now listen to this one. This is the real kicker right here. Ready?
Oop.
And you know what happened between 1820 and 1998? You had the Industrial Revolution.
That's a long fucking time.
It's a long time, but not like between 1080 and 1820. So much longer, bro. I don't need math.
That's like one day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we're talking now we're in the throes of the Industrial Revolution all the way up onto basically modern day, man, all the way up until 1998. We're talking about the GDP. We're talking about trade. We're talking about Wall Street. We're talking about all that fucking nonsense, right?
Man.
Between 1820 and 1998, the world economy grew 50-fold, a much faster rate than the population growth. So individuals enjoyed on average, a 9-fold increase in income.
Damn.
So before I said 50% increase in income, you know what a fold means? It means 100% is a fold. Like like I make it back 100%.
Damn.
Now we're at a 9-fold, bro. 9 fucking fold. Over this period in Europe, North America, and Australia and Asia,
Wow.
the economy grew 19-fold per person, even though these regions already had the higher starting level. And in Japan, which was poor in 1820, so descriptive, which was poor in 1820.
They were very poor.
Like Wikipedia was around in 1820. They were poor. Everybody was poor. The increase
Oh my God.
everyone per person was 31-fold, man. That was the increase per person. 31-fold.
Wow.
Since 1820.
Jeez.
Bro.
Bruh. There
I'm
was
looking at
progress, bro.
So exactly. So what I'm saying is man, like people say capitalism doesn't work. Look at that, making fucking money. Donald Trump for 2020.
Wow.
Go fuck yourselves. Before I wrap up capitalism, because I'm really tired of capitalism,
Yeah, bro.
I want to talk. Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? God damn it!
What are you trying to do there, little Billy Bob?
Trying to find fucking. Let's talk about capitalism and how it relates to democracy. So now a lot of people think because America, they think capitalism is like democracy, basically. They think you can't have anything else. Democracy, capitalism.
Yeah.
The extension of universal adult male suffrage in the 19th century, Britain occurred along with the development of industrial capitalism, and democracy became widespread at the same time as capitalism, leading capitalists to post a casual or mutual relationship between them. However, according to some authors, not Arthurs. I'm sure some of these authors. I'm sure some of these authors were named Arthur in the 20th century. Capitalism also accompanied a variety of political formations quite distinct from liberal democracies, including our buddy Adolf Hitler, fucking fascism.
Yeah.
Shouts out to fascism.
Shout out.
Shouts out to absolute monarchies.
Heil Hitler. Heil Hitler. Zafir.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Never do that again.
Zafir.
There's people that live here, man.
Oh, I was like,
Do you know who? We have roommates, man. You should go out there and apologize.
I'm sorry for saying Zafir.
Stop.
Oh,
I live here, man. You don't live here. You could leave. Now they think I'm white, dude. I'm the only white guy in this apartment, man. They're
And-
going to be like, oh, it's this guy.
and you're blue eyed and you're blonde. Holy shit.
Exactly.
Fuck, bro. You're part of the master race,
I'm
bro.
low-key actually kind of mad at you right now.
Why?
So shouts out to absolute monarchies and
Whatever, bro.
single-party states. So it's not just democracy.
Man. Listen, man.
That was Brendan. That was not me, guys.
man.
I just want to say.
Listen, man. He's being intolerant towards Nazis, bro. I'm gonna go on Tumblr tonight and talk to my fellow skinheads.
You know, I got the role of government highlighted here.
Yeah, bro.
I got a quote from fucking Milton Friedman.
The fuck is Morgan Freeman?
The idea that capitalism promotes political freedom argue that competitive capitalism allows economic and political power to be separate, ensuring that they do not clash with one another. We both know that's bullshit.
That's fucking Nazi bullshit.
And that's
bro.
it. Guess what? Fuck capitalism.
Wow.
We're getting that out of here.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
So
Now,
let's-
before we get into communism, here's the thing: is that the guests that we have for communism, they agreed to just do a little. They didn't want to come by; they just wanted their names pronounced and shit. So maybe we could do a little cutaway where we just say their names towards the end of the communism situation.
Okay, read the names off then. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. So here are some honorable mentions for the communisms list. So here are the top 10 communisms in the history of the world. Number 1, Jesus Christ. Number 2, Barney the dinosaur. Number 3, Nancy Pelosi. Number 4, Chad Kroger of Nickelback. Number 5,
Are you reading the communism list right now?
yeah.
Okay, I thought you were gonna save it till after.
I thought you asked me to read the names.
Yeah, capitalist.
No, I said
Names.
communist.
Oh, okay. Then keep going.
Damn, bro.
We're already here.
Oh shit. Number 5, Nicolas Cage. Number 6, Charlie Puth. Number 7, Spooderman 3. Number 8, Janet Jackson. Number 9, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then number 10, Keanu Reeves. Those are the greatest communisms in the history of the world.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Be happy.
There you go. Okay, now back onto the big boy shit.
Yeah.
Communism.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about what happens when they say "fuck you, capitalism," and they move into something that's like, you know what? Fuck those fancy pantsy fucks that are running the show. Fuck the bourgeois state. Fuck the bourgeoisie.
The bourgeoisie.
And hello, comrade. Listen, comrade.
Look, motherfucker. Time to get communism into the effect.
Oh, you got to work on that one.
Again, nobody. My accent is fucking fantastic.
You sound like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger has smallpox. That's what you sound like.
No, I'll be like, listen to me. My dick is infected.
Communism is a philosophical, socio-political, and economic ideology and movement whose ultimate goal is the establishment of a communist society which is socio-economic order structured upon the ideas of common ownership of the means of production, the absence of social classes, money, and the state.
What?
All of these share the analysis that the current order of society stems from its economic system. So we're talking about capitalism. So again, it all comes back to capitalism, and that's why I fucking hated this. Wow. This might be my least favorite episode, by the way.
Wow.
Just saying.
Jeez.
Because all of the fucking research I did for this just
Abort.
to have a bullshit episode. We should just abort. We should just tell everybody to go home.
Fuck
You
'em.
already fucking heiled Hitler on the
Yeah,
episode.
bro. Yeah.
There goes our sponsorship for
No,
anybody
fuck,
from the
man.
future.
Dollar Shave Club is gone now, man.
Fucking $13 Shave Club's gone.
Oh, shit. Fuck, bro.
So it all stems from capitalism. That in this system, there are two major social classes. That conflict between these two classes are the root of all problems in society. Literally, any kind of problem you have, slavery, capitalism. It's one of the two things here.
Capitalism.
The situation will ultimately be resolved through a social revolution.
Capitalism.
The two classes, we got the working class,
Mm.
then we got the capitalist class. So we got the proletariat, the working class. Those are the hardworking motherfuckers of the world. Then you got the capital class. We're talking about the bourgeois. We're talking about the upper middle class and the upper class.
The people who stick their fucking chicken in gold glitter and eat it.
Yeah. So basically, communists want to have this fucking revolution, right? They're saying, you know what this revolution would do?
What is that?
It puts the working class in power and in turn establishes something called social ownership of the means of production, which according to this analysis is the primary element in the transformation of society towards communism. So when you look at it that way, they say, we want a revolution. We're going to say, fuck you to Donald Trump. We're going to say, fuck you to whoever, I don't know,
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck you to Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, dude, communism and atheism kind of goes hand in hand, which we'll get into that a little bit later on because that was actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent. Well, I got a,
Yeah.
there's something called Christian communism that I want to talk about for a couple of
Sure.
seconds that I think is actually pretty cool. Because I think that everybody that's a communist and Christian should just, walk off a cliff. But,
yeah, man.
it's cool.
Come on, bro.
Well, if you're one of the two, I'm fine with that. If you're both, just walk off a cliff, man.
Yeah, fuck it, bro.
Basically.
Fuck it all. Fuck it all.
So according to, we're looking at the early communism here. Do I have an etymology of this thing? No, I don't. We don't care.
There's no
I don't care.
Episcopalians here, dude.
So according to Richard Pipes, the idea of a classless, egalitarian society first emerged in ancient Greece. So this is going back a little even further than the idea of capitalism. So where, yeah, everybody kind of wanted to be rich, and that's essentially what like capitalism is. It's just like, fuck it, laissez-faire. I want to be rich. Fuck regulations.
Yeah,
Who gives a
lazy
shit?
fair, definitely, man.
Basically. So we're going back. We're digging deep here. 5th century Mazdak movement in Persia, Iran. Just in case you want to know where that is.
More
Our
Indians.
buddies Iran.
Yeah,
You know, our personal buddies of America.
that's
right
right.
now.
More Indians.
Has been described as communistic for challenging the enormous privileges of the noble classes and the clergy, for criticizing the institution of private property, and for striving to create an egalitarian society. So basically, as far as we can go back, we don't really have an exact, like, this is where communism started, or the ideas that kind of relate to communism started. But we kind of have a decent idea, and that's going back to the 5th century, so the 400s, those years, the Mazdak movement in Persia, Asia. Iran.
Wow.
So, let's skip forward a little bit. And then in the 17th century, communism thought, that is a typo on Wikipedia.
Wow.
Communist thought surfaced again in England, where a Puritan religious group known as, quote, the Diggers. I wonder what they did. Jeez.
What kind of fucking name is that?
I should have looked them up.
This is
man.
horrible. This
I
is
can't
horrible.
wait till we have a video podcast, so that way we could like pull up pictures of these fucking weirdos. Because I mean, look at this guy, man.
My God.
This fucking weirdo.
What the fuck,
Who is
dude?
that? Pierre Joseph. That's Proud Han, dude.
Proud Han.
That's what Proud Han. He does kind of look like a porn star.
I guess, man. I mean, Proud
Definitely
Honky.
incest porn. He's
Oh.
definitely
Definitely
listen
the
here,
stepdad.
little yeah.
Come here.
Oh.
Aren't you my stepdaughter?
Yeah.
It's fine. Just put
So
it
you
in.
had these assholes of Puritan advocated the abolition of private ownership of land. So they were the first ones to be like, fuck the idea of private. Let's go off into these fucking communes. Let's do our own thing. We know what Puritans are. You know the Puritans, right?
I forget.
Like the Pilgrims and shit.
Oh, yeah, little
like
shits,
they-
yeah.
Basically, they were like, you know what? We're feeling religiously prosecuted. Let's go over to America and let's do some crazy shit like burn some witches.
Yeah.
That's the Puritans, right?
That's
the
right.
American way.
That's right, man.
But we're in Russia now, so we're almost in Russia. We're-
Russia. Brother.
So we had the Age of Enlightenment appeared, right? And then we're talking the 18th century. And the idea of private property during the Age of Enlightenment was kind of questioned. Like so Enlightenment basically means the philosophical thought, the idea of religion. All of that was kind of questioned in that time period, because up until that point, people were like, burn the witch. Let's not,
Yeah, burn the
religion.
bitch, yeah.
Religion kind of left everything. And then the Age of Enlightenment in the 18th century, you had deeper thinkers thinking about how the economy works, how religion applies to that. You're talking about governments, all that kind of shit. You had a guy by the name of Jean-Jacques Rousseau in France.
Sure.
He was one of these guys, and they criticized the idea of like private property, and they thought like, oh, wouldn't it be like a good idea where like we just had like this fucking like utopia where like people didn't have private like everybody just kind of shared everything. It was just some hippie shit. We're talking about some hippie shit.
Come together now.
Following the upheaval of the French Revolution, communism emerged as a political doctrine. So right after the fucking French Revolution, communism kind of came about. People were like, you know what, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I just want to get shit for free. And I could work lazier. A lot of times, man, people have an issue with communism because they think that people are lazy. But really, it's kind of the opposite. Once we go into it, you'll see, like, people worked really fucking hard to get very little.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea
America.
of communists are lazy.
So America.
Yeah.
God.
Our boy Karl Marx
Ooh.
and Friedrich Engels in 1848 offered a new definition of communism and popularized their term in their famous pamphlet. And here's the moment of truth. What did they write?
The Communist Manifesto.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
1848 Communist Manifesto. There we go. I don't know why I threw that page. I wasn't done with it.
Wow.
So this emerges and they're actually, people think that Karl Marx is from Russia. He's not from Russia, believe it or not.
Where's he from?
I think he's
America?
like Austrian or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So not even part of Russia. Like we're talking. He wrote the Communist Manifesto in 1848. The October Revolution that kind of started the Russian Revolution was in 1917. So we're talking 70 something years later or something like that. Probably wasn't even alive then, basically, is what I'm saying.
Probably was a fucking goner.
I don't know. Every picture I've seen of Karl Marx, he's like got a fat fucking beard. He looks like he smokes like some long pipe, you know?
Oh my god.
He's smoking some funky herb, man.
Shit down here, Sonny.
So flash forward, so everybody associates communism with Russia or the Soviet Union.
Russia.
In Russia, beer drink you.
In Russia, dick suck you.
In Russia, prostitute fuck you.
In Russia, AIDS find you.
Okay, in 1917, the October Revolution in Russia set the conditions for the rise to state power of Mr. Vladimir Lenin and his Bolsheviks. So they were tired of these bullshit, the oligarchy there. They were tired of the bullshit fucking, what do they call him, the czar and his fucking family.
Sure.
They were tired of these rich fucks getting all the power. And they're like, nah, we're done with this bullshit.
It's done.
They actually left World War I for this. Not a lot of people know that. They left World War I in order to get their own political freedom. Kind of ballsy when you think about it.
Bows.
Kind of ballsy. They were like in the middle of fucking World War. They were like, we're done with this shit.
We out.
We out.
All right, I'm out of here.
We got to go fight at home. I got to go fight my cousin, down the street.
Go fight Frank.
So I could fuck his sister.
The asshole.
Shit was happening back in 1917.
Damn straight.
The revolution transferred power to the All-Russian Congress of Soviets, in which the Bolsheviks had a majority. So I actually found this part really interesting because I never really knew, and maybe it's just because I never paid attention in history class, like how Russia actually kind of became the Soviet Union. Like at one point it was Russia, then it became the Soviet Union, then it became Russia again. That's really all I knew at the time.
Wow.
But so if you look at it, so they fought this revolution, and there's this kind of political communist party called the Bolsheviks, led by our boy Vladimir Lenin, kind of gained power.
Vladimir.
So the event generated a great deal of practical and theoretical debate within the Marxist community. So they were looking at Karl Marx, the Communist Manifesto, and they were like, we like this guy. So they call themselves Marxists,
This guy's
basically.
really cool.
He's got the right idea.
I like guy.
Now, Marx predicted that socialism and communism would be built upon foundations laid by the most advanced capitalist development. However, Russia was one of the poorest countries in Europe, with an enormous, largely illiterate peasantry and a minority of industrial workers. So
Plebs.
they kind of went about it ass backwards. Is basically the bottom line is. Now, is this why they failed? Could be why, but who fucking knows?
Who fucking know?
The Bolsheviks' successfully rise to power was based upon the slogans such as peace, bread, and land. So they said, we're looking at there's all these poor fucks in the 1920s, or late 19
Everyone's
teens.
poor.
Everybody's poor as fuck. Literally everybody. So maybe like one dude,
Oh yeah.
and he's got all the bread.
Yeah.
So they walked around, and the reason why they got elected, and they said people were like, I like this idea of communism, man. This sounds fucking dope. Is because they said everybody's going to get some peace, everybody's going to get some bread, everybody's going to get some land.
Woo.
Tapped into the massive public desire for an end to Russian involvement in the First World War. The peasants demanded for land reform and popular support for the Soviets. The Soviet Union was established in 1922.
Wow.
So that's how they got it. They basically went in there. They were like, we promise you we're going to get you this, this, and that.
We will
And guess
bring-
what? They did.
We
at
will
first.
bring great prosperity to you.
They did.
For now.
Now, this just goes to show, so our boy Vladimir Lenin kind of rose to power. Him and the Bolsheviks for like the first 5 or 6 years. They were the man. They were the ones with the plan. They were getting everybody peace. They were giving it, they got them out of the World War.
I was
They were giving them bread.
I was
you know,
guy with big PP
They were
energy.
giving hand jobs for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
No
strong.
blowjobs yet.
No, when we were not faggot. We do strong hand job.
Now, Lenin had his own Soviet government. So like he got elected, he basically convinced everybody to elect him. And he had his boys, he was surrounded with like his cabinet. Now, I don't want to pronounce listen to these names. Fucking Kamenev,
Yes, Kimnev is great.
Zinoviv,
Zinoviv is great.
Rykov,
Rykov is fuckhead.
and Bukharin.
Brooke is a motherfucker.
Buchanan.
Fuck Karen? Yeah.
So these guys were all of his boys.
Pat
during
Buchanan.
the- But they started to say, you know what, this is because when you're transitioning to a major form of government, it's tough to kind of keep the boys on the same page, if you know what I'm saying.
Boys are back in town.
It's like, think about it this way, like all you guys, I know you guys can relate to this home. It's like you and the boys hanging out and trying to decide on which kind of White Claw to drink. You know what I'm saying? It's just so
fucking bullshit,
relatable.
bro.
Some people
Not for
want
me,
mango,
motherfucker.
some people want black cherry, and there's that one asshole that wants grapefruit.
I want-
So you know what happened when Lenin was like, one of Lenin's boys was like, I kind of want some grapefruit. He shot his ass and killed him.
Oh, crap. Just because for
So they pleaded guilty of conspiracy against the Soviet Union. They were executed.
Damn.
So bottom line is,
Killed.
he said, fuck all of those that say that this isn't the right way to do it. And he basically created his own fucking idea of communism.
Yeah, bro.
They got themselves involved with the Cold War with the United States because at that time the United States thought capitalism, yeah, that's the best way to do it. Let's stick our dicks into everything that breathes
Oh, yeah.
to make sure that they're,
Well, not only do that, but then
democratic.
But then we got to shoot it afterwards.
And they got to shoot it afterwards.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, I'm going to make communism short now because I want to move on. I want to get into
More modern shit.
more modern shit.
Yeah,
But the
cool,
bottom
man.
line is that bottom line is that you guys know the history of this. It didn't work out for them. They got
What?
themselves involved with the Cold War, which escalated. They got into the space race. They got involved with nuclear, arming themselves and shit.
Space
It just
race.
never worked out. And they eventually dissolved in like 1991 or some shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Didn't work out.
Wow.
You had people like Joseph Stalin coming in saying, this is the best way to do communism. And they're like, nah, you got to go back to the Marxist ways and ideas. And instead, basically, Lenin had his ideas, but then his boy Trotsky, he got killed by Stalin. This whole fucking roundabout
Whoa.
fucking way of saying is they fucked it up. They fucked it up, man.
They fucking fucked it
Yeah.
up, bro.
Now, Christian communism,
What the
like
fuck
I
is
said
this
earlier, theological and political theory based upon the view that the teachings of Jesus Christ compel Christians to support communism as the ideal social system. Now, mind you, many Christian communists assert that the evidence from the Bible suggests that the first Christians, including the apostles, established their own small communist society in the years following Jesus' death and resurrection. As such, many advocates of Christian communism argue it was taught by Jesus and practiced by the apostles themselves. Now, they did not agree with various aspects of Marxism because 10 people that tend to follow Marxism, it was based around the idea built on the building blocks of atheism and anti-religious views held by secular Marxists.
But we should mention that while they wanted to get rid of those gods, they wanted to make room for one god, and that god was the government. And that god
Yeah.
was them.
There you go, buddy.
So in a sense, like it was still a religious order, just not
Yeah.
what we're used to.
Exactly.
No.
So bringing it into the modern day, I think if we're going to talk about communism, I think it would be doing us a disservice if we don't talk about a few countries that are still consider themselves communist.
So communisms, yeah.
we're looking at right now,
We got China, right?
we're looking at China, we're looking at Cuba, we're looking at Laos and Vietnam.
Sure.
Now, North Korea, interestingly enough, currently refers to its leading ideology as Juche, which is, it's spelled Juche, which is portrayed as a development of Marxism and Leninism. So technically, these guys are dictatorship, but they kind of consider themselves this Juche shit, which is basically like they took whatever the fuck they wanted from Marxism and Leninism, and were like, all right,
Let's make it to a clusterfuck. of
exactly. Now, Mao
shit. Meow.
in
Meow.
China
Meow.
came in and decided after trials and tribulations when he got elected a little bit later on, this is a little after the Russians developed communism and they ran with it there.
Yeah.
Now Mao came in and said, I like this idea. I like the idea of government control. I like communism. I like the idea of basically the social structure of communism. I like that. But he reinforced it with a very capitalistic, almost free market backbone, which is capitalistic. So when you look at China, you can't really say that they're communist fully. You got to say that they are communist government with an economic system that's capitalistic. So they took kind of the best of both worlds, I guess, quote unquote, best of both worlds, because we both know that they do some vile shit over there.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Hannah Montana life. Hell yeah.
So they took that and they ran with it and they said, let's take this, let's take this. They cherry picked it, and hence why they're still around today. Now, do they do a ton of bullshit? Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're
bro.
also competing with us on the global fucking scale, global market,
Human rights violations? Yeah.
human rights
totally.
violations. But you know what? They get away with it.
They do, man.
They do.
Because they have
That's a shame.
the power.
So now
Wow.
people oftentimes will take a candidate like Bernie Sanders, for
Bernie
example.
Sanders.
Now we're going to take it back into American politics, and then we'll bring it back into a wide scale. But there's this idea of socialism now, which is a lot of first world countries, specifically in like Northern Europe, Canada, Scandinavia. You're talking about, just a bunch, even parts of, do we have lists of places here? Like the Norwegian area, as well as Japan, Northern Europe, Western Europe. A lot of these places, man, they run on a social capitalism. So they're technically capitalist in nature because they're still part of the market, the global market. But they have this idea of socialism where, Brennan, why don't you take it? Because I've been talking a fuck ton.
I appreciate
and I'm
you.
tired of it.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
So basically, they are also referred to as social democracies. Now, with a lot of these countries, what'll happen is that while you can still, have like private ownership, you can still make capital, all that kind of good shit. What happens is they do not treat things like healthcare and education. They do not treat those as a commodity. They treat those as a human right. Things that are just a given, And now these things are not free. These things are now they might be free up front, but these are paid through with higher taxes. But what ends up happening is they end up prospering more because they end up saving more money in the end than, say, what we have here in America, for example, where healthcare and education is treated as a commodity and is treated as a profit motive. So in a place like ours, which, of course, everyone listening to this podcast, obviously in America, that they know, that it's very hard, that you basically get punished for wanting an education. You get punished for wanting to stay alive longer, and treat your injuries. Whereas, say, in these social democratic places, that's not an issue. And not surprisingly, they rank way higher than what America does in terms of healthcare, in terms of education, in terms of lifespan, in terms of happiness, basically all of the important areas. But they don't beat us out of one thing. We're number one in one area, motherfucker. And guess what that is, man? Mass incarceration. Fuck yeah, America.
And largest military spending.
Goddamn straight, motherfucker. We have the biggest dick. We are the biggest overcompensators in the history of the fucking world, buddy.
And like I said earlier, oftentimes when people bring up people that are basically ignorant to how these different economic and social policies work, they oftentimes will quote things like communism instead of knowing that socialism is not communism.
Venezuela.
Yeah,
you know,
so that's
the
so
thing
what
too.
I'm saying is that there's a lot of ignorance out there, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic, the capitalism versus communism thing, is not because I know a lot about it, as from what you saw from that episode. I hope that was at least somewhat entertaining, or at least you picked up some kind of fucking knowledge on it. But the reason why I wanted to do it is because we're getting really close to the Iowa caucus, and it's the start of an election year, start of a new decade, start of an election year. So we got a guy in the office that came in and promised to drain the political swamp.
Drain the swamp.
Came in, promised to bring the troops home.
End the wars.
Promised to give seniors and veterans the money that they deserve.
Universal
to take
health
care of
care.
them. I don't know if he ever promised universal health
Well, he promised that. Well, one thing for sure that he promised was that he wasn't going to cut Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid.
Yep, did all of that.
Oh yeah.
Pretty a year into office.
Everyone will have health care. Look, no one will lose health care. Everyone will have health care.
Exactly. So when you take somebody like that, who I think is a monster in office right now, and then you got somebody like Bernie Sanders, who oftentimes Trump supporters will call a communist because they don't understand, or they use socialism in a bad light. Meanwhile, a very large majority of the first world population of countries are all socialist democracies, basically.
Yep.
So that's the reason why I kind of wanted to kick off the new year with the somewhat political episode, just talking about, because the Iowa caucuses are coming up, the primaries are very soon, and within the next from anywhere from a month from now, I think is when Iowa's happening.
Yeah, February 3rd. Yeah.
February 3rd. Yeah. And then all the way up until about 5 or 6 months from now, when the final states are coming in, everything's happening.
Oh yeah.
And then come November, we got to elect the new president
Damn straight.
of the United States. So that's the reason why I kind of wanted to get political on this one, is because it's just an important thing to recognize.
And it is, and while you're eating your Mike and Ike's there, what's also important is that I hope people understand that the reason why, we had that little dumb list of like random fucking names attached to communism and capitalism, it was the point of it was to show how people can just mislabel horribly and obnoxiously these people, as so for example, with your green Mike and Ike in your hand.
Listen, man, I got a
So-
love-hate relationship with Mike and Ike's, bro.
I never liked them.
I like them because I like the fruitiness, man. But after you eat like 4 or 5 of them, or like a handful of them, you're just like, yeah,
Then you're set, yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm good to go. I'm out of here. No, but so that's the
I like
thing.
squishing them in my fingers.
Because because
Look
you'll
at that.
see. Oh my god, look at that! Oh my, look like a little fucking penis. You know,
sticky. I got green on my fingertips.
Ooh,
It's like I fingered Shrek's asshole.
that's an infection. No, but the thing is that, especially in America, if you watch these debates, which not many people do, but for the ones who watch it, you'll see how they'll ask and how they'll frame these questions towards Bernie. So they'll frame it from like so can you tell us how your vision is different than from that in Venezuela and Cuba? And Bernie rightfully gets pissed and on stage live spanks the moderator's asshole, and while talking about what the fuck he actually believes in.
At least
Now-
most of the time.
At least most of the
Sometimes he
time.
can't get to it. They just don't let it
Well,
happen.
there's that too. But he definitely gave it good to fucking Jorge Ramos, that pendejo. Like, how's it different from Venezuela, you piece of shit? Fuck it. So, and mind you, there are different versions of socialism that we're not getting into today. So just know that the particular brand of socialism that people like me and Pseudo support and Bernie support is a social democracy where capitalism is still part of it. Where
Yeah, that's very much still part of it.
yeah.
A lot of America's based around. So listen, yeah, I'm officially, as you all know, probably could figure out by context clues by now. I do identify myself as a social democrat, a democratic socialist. And then that mostly implies towards things like I think everybody should be guaranteed certain economic freedoms as well as social freedoms. So just like how, now, and I guess this is more recent, but just as an example, I mean, you're allowed to, gay people are allowed, gay marriage is legalized, for
Right.
example. But then also, but that's more of just a liberal standpoint in general. But then looking at certain economic freedoms, in my opinion, Medicare for all, free public college for all, tuition free, the elimination of student debt, got a whole bunch of just a Green New Deal, breaking up these big banks and breaking up
Big tech.
breaking up a lot of these large monopolies and these greedy insurance companies and healthcare companies. So that's basically where I stand on that. Now, I think me and you both agree, we know this, and this is a fact that oftentimes isn't expressed and isn't talked about. And most of America, and I'm not just talking Democrats, I'm talking about Republicans too, are in favor of these issues. And they support these things. If you ask the average American without getting political with them, without bringing up candidates and bringing up political parties, if you walk up to somebody and say, hey, if you were given the opportunity, now they don't have to be of age. I mean, you can go to any age at college. But I mean, if you ask somebody, you can say to a college student, hey, if you were given the ability to go to college for free, would you be in favor of that? Or if you ask somebody that's maybe a little older, you say, if it was back when you were going to college and you had the ability to go to college for free, I guarantee you at least 90% of people would say, yeah, I would definitely go to college for free. And I think that's a good idea. And same thing with healthcare. When you talk to people, they want universal healthcare. So it's definitely not like we're in the minority on this situation.
Right. Now, what happens, though, is a lot of these pollsters will ask these questions in very deceiving ways. And it's like, would you be, because what happens is that they'll put the name out. They'll say, okay, Medicare for all. Okay, would you vote for Medicare for all if it means your taxes go up? Then, oh, no, I don't want that shit. Because then they don't finish it.
Yeah, they don't leave out the fact, they leave out the fact that,
No copays, no deductibles.
yes, which are taxes already.
So under Bernie's plan, what his financial goal is that per year, instead of the average family spending fucking, twice their annual income, if not more, depending on who you are, instead, his goal is per year, you will only be spending $1,200 a year on healthcare. $1,200 a year compared to $100,000, compared to more than that.
Yeah, there's some people that are literally are contemplating suicide because they can't afford their medical bills. They can't afford the deductibles. They can't afford whatever it is they have to pay.
Yeah.
Because right now it's, again, just it's so laissez-faire. It's so heavy and so rich with these middlemen that just are trying to make a buck off of you.
And that's the thing, because we were talking about this a little bit yesterday about how with capitalism, because you talk about how there's a few different there's a lot of different types of it, but unfortunately in ours, we have adopted, pretty shitty systems, and kind of like morphed it into ours. So we have some parts of it that are socialists, with Medicare, Medicaid. We have parts of it that are very much into the oligarchical kind of system, where or honestly, or maybe you can just say, it's a fucking like duopoly, honestly, because like who have the power in this country is government and business. It's like, so you can kind of argue it might be a duopoly, honestly. And
That's an interesting way to put it.
So it's so we have adopted a lot of these shitty parts of it, and unfortunately, and for those of you who don't know this ridiculous statistic, which was fucking nuts, where what was it? It was the top 3 richest people in the country own more wealth than the bottom half.
Yeah.
When you hear shit like that, because no one's funny.
And it's being reiterated by Bernie Sanders a lot. And I think why a lot of people don't like him is he keeps reiterating the same points. And he keeps saying things that need to be addressed. And yes, he does repeat himself a lot. And yes, he's loud and he shouts and points his fingers.
Which is good,
loud.
though.
But it's good because this is shit that's not talked about ever.
Yeah.
Like, I've never once been on CNN and just seen any reporter on CNN talk about. I mean, occasionally, maybe once a year, they'll have somebody that's sympathetic for somebody like Bernie Sanders or an actual progressive. But like you said, they always phrase the question from a very conservative standpoint, even though it'll be CNN or MSNBC that frame themselves as very liberal programs.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned this, because I was getting into this discussion with a friend of mine who's very conservative. He goes, "Oh, the liberal media," and honestly,
there is no liberal media, guys.
No,
it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if it ever did.
What we have instead, like if we're taking CNN and MSNBC into account, what we have instead is those two are, I would say, the establishment network. What happened is that now
I just call them the corporate network, man.
Now while they might be more socially liberal, that we can give them. They're more socially liberal, but in terms of economics and in terms of political power, these guys are very conservative. These guys are very much keeping the status quo, very much into this neoliberal, neocon. And it's funny because they'll go back from time to time on these, depending on the issue, they'll go back time to time on this shit. When it comes to war, fucking neocons. Fucking when it comes to, say, taxing the rich, neoliberal. Oh, we can't demonize success. I mean, come on now, man. They're hard for that shit. While we agree with the sentiment, maybe raise a little bit, but come on now, this is just extreme. How are we gonna do it? How are we gonna do it?
Yeah.
So they always toe that fucking line because they're assholes and shit. And then they'll run then they'll run ads from like big pharma, big oil. Oh no, we don't have the commercials.
They'll do it at the debates. They'll do it after the on the debates. That's the commercial break is for some sort of pharmaceutical company.
Oh yeah.
Or some sort of anti-healthcare ad or anti-Medicare for all ad.
Now if anything, I think that if someone were to say that, oh, like Fox News is definitely like the conservative network. Oh, totally. Like they are right wing to the fucking core.
And you know what? I got to give it to Fox News, where I disagree with them 100%. At least they're kind of pretty straight up with you about that kind of fact there.
I guess they're straight up with bullshitting you, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they'll give it to you straight. They call themselves.
Fair enough. Okay, that part, sure. Yeah.
Whereas in CNN and MSNBC kind of guise themselves as, oh, we're not politically biased, or we.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even. They can't even hide that anymore. They have a hard time doing that.
Oh yeah.
So it's tough.
And I guarantee you, if someone like a Bernie Sanders were to win the presidency, I guarantee you would see on CNN and MSNBC, they would definitely move more center right, more so.
Yeah, you think so?
And here's why.
You don't think it'll move the Overton window left?
Oh no, and I'll tell you why right now, because unless the powers that be are challenged, these guys. Because remember, they want to keep the status quo. So what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and spin and say, hey, we see Bernie trying to pass this bill here, but is it really, going to have the intended effect that he wants it to have? Honestly, it could probably cost us a lot of money and put us in debt. I can see that, because because they're doing it already. They're doing it right the fuck now. So, and here's the thing too, is that, and remember with Trump, it's a funny thing, because no matter how much they claim they hate this motherfucker, they love him for the ratings. And during 2016, you could probably attest to this, and I definitely can, because my mom watches CNN all the fucking time. Back in 2016, you would have thought you were watching Fox News, because they kept showing his fucking rallies.
Yeah.
They kept showing his fucking rallies, giving him free press.
I remember, yeah. I saw, I'll tell you what, I remember 2016, I was still an avid Bernie supporter. I've been a Bernie supporter since 2015.
I've been one since 2011.
Yeah, see, but you were in the political game longer than I was.
Yeah.
But as far as I got into, Bernie Sanders helped me get into it.
Oh,
Because then I
totally.
knew, because before that I thought it was just a bunch of convoluted bullshit. I thought it was literally just a bunch of lying politicians, but then it took Bernie Sanders to realize that not all of them are bad.
Right.
It's just you got to do your research.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember 2015, 2016 very vividly. I remember thinking to myself, man, I've seen very few Bernie campaigns anywhere, very, very few of these rallies. I know you had been to a couple,
Yeah.
but Trump's I was seeing all the time. I was like, how have I seen so many Trump rallies? I don't watch Fox News.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've watched Fox News maybe 10 times, you know,
You know,
unless if I was specifically looking at something somebody said. I'm not like, maybe a handful of times have I ever been browsing, found myself stopping on Fox News.
Oh, dude. So I had the pleasure of, oh God. So two fast things. One, this one's really fast. Fox News. These guys are the only network that will have. They had an award show called the Patriot Award Show, where they wanted to honor America's patriots, and this was the entire audience was white. There was not one minority in the audience at all.
Yeah.
They were all like late 40s, late 40s, early 50s, people in the crowd, you know, talking about, maybe we're going to honor our troops. And I'm like, you know what's funny, man? Look, man, man, the troops, they do some good work sometimes. You know, I'm sure most of them are there because they want to actually serve the country. But if you really want to honor the patriots, if you really want to help out the military and the police force, I mean, maybe the military more, why not actually, I don't know, use those millions of dollars that you guys, you know, in your fucking, you know, in your wine caves and shit like that. Why not use that to fund the VA more? Why not use that to get the military off the fucking streets? You know, tons of homeless military people on the streets.
Yeah, and healthcare.
Well, yeah, but they don't give a fuck. You know, they want to give him a fucking a little dick, a little piece of fucking gold, probably fake gold and shit, in the shape of a fucking guy with holding his dick in his hand, saying America. You know, that's what they want to give him. That means shit. What does that? I mean, I can do that shit right now.
They don't care, and that's why when people say that Bernie Sanders is a socialist or a communist, if they go that far in saying that, oftentimes they'll say that he's very unpatriotic. He doesn't care about America.
Jeez.
Meanwhile, he's the only one out there that's actually trying to do something for the troops.
Yeah,
Like really do something for the troops.
totally.
Shit, and he didn't even fight in any wars or any battles or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a couple people on stage. Like, I think, you know, Tulsi, when it comes to about the troops, I tend to agree with her a good chunk of the time when it comes to taking care of the troops.
Yeah.
But then you got people on stage like Mayor Pete Buttigieg, says that he, you know, is this big lover of the troops because he was also a soldier. I don't know which branch he fought in.
Either.
Whatever.
But
Clearly he's at the end of the day, he's pulling that out of his ass, clearly. Because if he really cared about the troops, you know, some of the things that Bernie Sanders would be doing, you know, Pete would have his name on.
totally.
You know, a lot of the things.
Will it be in terms of like ending the war? And here's the thing too, man, is that
And even just with this situation and how he responded to the whole Iran
oh
situation.
yeah, he saw it from him. He saw it from Biden. Where it's like, okay,
He's
look,
posting
man.
pictures of him with a fucking assault rifle
Oh,
in his uniform.
jeez,
Yeah, I care about the troops.
Jesus Christ. Look, man, fucking. At that point, you're trying to appeal to the conservatives. At that point, you know, the gun hungry ones. Like, yeah, man, I love my gun.
Because that's all he's got left, man.
That's it, dude.
He doesn't have independents.
He doesn't have minorities at all.
He has no minorities. He hardly even has the liberal, rich white folks anymore. Starting to lose them.
Yeah,
Because they were put him on blast for it.
that's
on
true.
the debate, which was really fucking refreshing.
Oh, yeah,
By the way,
dude.
that was nice.
Fucking wine caves, dude.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, listen, man, and I don't mean to like cut you off or anything like that, but I think this has been a pretty long enough episode here. But I just want to say that the reason why, again, that we did this episode is just to bring awareness to go out and do your own research when it comes to economic policy, when it comes to just government in general. Like, don't just find the first article you can from any news source and just run with it. Don't just turn on the television, blindly flip the channels and listen to whatever the hell they have to say, and don't do any research for yourself.
Yeah, fucking. Here's the thing, man. Like, I agreed. Fucking look at all the sources that you can.
Yeah.
Totally. And also, too,
Now,
man,
mind you, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, listen to this podcast as a 100% accurate resource either. Because
Yeah,
as much
no.
as I like to think that I'm the shit, you know, I don't know everything by any
Right.
means. So the bottom line, to wrap up, we were talking about getting back into the points of capitalism and communism, just so you don't get them confused again. Which, I mean, you're all pretty bright people, so I'm sure you understand. But the capitalist idea and laissez-faire, we're talking about free trade. We're talking about very little government intervention. We're talking about supply and demand, open markets. We're talking about very hands-off approach is how you look at it. And not, you also, when you talk about those points, you cannot say that the United States is fully capitalist. That's not the case.
No, not at all. No.
We have a lot of social policies, even just looking at how we fund infrastructure, talking about
Police
social
force,
security, police
firefighters,
force,
yeah.
all these different things. And a lot of that was in part two. I also wanted to give like a little shout out, I guess, through time. I'm calling through time to FDR. And not a lot of people realize this, but when FDR made the New Deal, he was also working on, and Bernie Sanders talks about this, like this economic New Deal, where he says that everybody should be guaranteed a living wage, or everybody should be guaranteed the ability to, to afford health care or free health care for everybody.
Yeah.
These are things he was talking about, and this is 1930s, man. And if you guys think that wasn't popular, the man was elected 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention he was old and he had polio. He was in a wheelchair. And there was war happening.
Mm-hmm.
So when people, walk around saying Bernie Sanders is too old, fuck you.
Yeah, no.
Get a better argument.
Yeah, honestly, because people, honestly, man, the ideas are where it counts, man. Not the fucking person's skin.
Yeah. And then also...
that is so racist.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, dude.
100%.
Like, honestly, when that fucking... On CBS, and I know you want to cut off pretty soon, but like on CBS when the black reporter was interviewing Bernie and AOC, when she asked AOC, oh, like, why support an old white guy? If I was Bernie, I would have said, excuse me, that was a very racist question, and I would have had the balls to say, listen, if the colors were reversed right now, and he said, oh, why did you go for an old black guy? Why go for an old Spanish guy? You've been considered a fucking racist. You've been crucified. And you would have been fucking fired.
Yeah.
But for some reason, because he's white, then and listen, I'm saying this as a fucking Spanish dude, all right? But for some reason, the fact that he's white, then fucking the racist card, then that's it. We can use that, and no problem there.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're going to punish the whites for the sins of the father, like, come the fuck on, man. Because if you want to end racism, let's not be fucking picky about who we're going to do it to. If we're going to say it's wrong, let's do it. Let's fucking say it's wrong across fucking all lines. None of this fucking bullshit where you want to use it selectively. I'm not for these kind of people. No, fuck you. You're an asshole. You're a racist.
Yeah.
You're the reason why this shit keeps getting fucking perpetuated. So honestly, man, look at the people's ideas. So what the fuck do they have to offer you? Look at their fucking record, man. Everyone wants to say, it's like Joe Biden. He'll be like, oh, well, look at my record. You see how good I am on the climate. Fuck you. We look at the record. You shit on the climate.
Yeah.
So like that's where there's no bias. That's where is 100% facts. You see where the fuck they voted and what the fuck they did.
Yeah, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Actions louder than words.
You
homie.
heard it here. So also to recap on communism, because I only kind of got halfway through it before I kind of gave up on that and decided to let's push it into modern ideas. But get back into communism. So as I told you with capitalism, the main points. With communism, the reason why it did not work in Russia and it failed, and then they had to be modified in order to work in China, is that it basically promotes the idea of a dictatorship in order to achieve a point of social equality amongst everybody. And as all of you, I'm sure, can put together because you're bright people, dictatorships never lead into a brighter future. There's never once been a dictatorship that led into, suddenly this dictator was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, no.
Fuck it. I'm out.
Nope. So we're talking about, Joseph Stalin. We're talking about millions and millions of people being starved to death. We're talking about famine. We're talking about war, perpetual war practically. Then we're talking about 30 or 40 years of a Cold War between a democratic state, democratic country, the U.S., and Russia. So to recap on that, so I don't want to, again, like I don't want to fucking hear it anymore, Just do your own research. I don't want to hear this whole, Bernie Sanders is a communist. I don't want to hear that these ideas are communist, because Bernie Sanders is not advising for any sort of control like this. What he's doing right now is he just wants to make sure everybody can afford to live. Everybody can afford to not just survive, but to thrive.
Exactly. Have a quality life. Yep.
Exactly.
That's the biggest key word there.
There you go.
Boom.
So you're here to hurt you.
You humana.
So that's it, folks. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not a great teacher. That's why, I actually wanted to be a history teacher for a little while. Glad I didn't do it because I suck at it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Now, Friday's episode will be much less political. I just feel like this is an idea that popped in my head, and I felt like it was a good way to start off the year.
Hell yeah.
So, but we're going to get into some, probably just back into some articles, talk a little bit about pop culture, what's coming up.
Hell yeah.
See if there's any new album releases. We're just going to kick it on Friday. Let's just have a good time. No, enough of this textbook bullshit. Enough of our rants for now. Let's just fucking let's let loose. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time for Friday. I just want to chill. It's gonna be. I can tell it's gonna be a long week.
It's gonna
I don't know
chill,
about
bro.
you. That's how I feel, man.
Wow.
Sitting over here with your purple pants on,
Yeah, man, my fucking Joker pants, dude.
walking around with your dick hanging out.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of Joker, our boy Joaquin, man.
Yeah, he
Golden
did.
Globe, homie.
he did win a Golden
Whoa,
Globe.
my man.
But you know, we'll talk more about that because I want to talk about Ricky Gervais next episode.
Yes.
That was fucking fun, but I want to
Yes.
go back and watch those highlights again.
Definitely, me too.
And we'll let that sit. So maybe we'll get a little bit into Hollywood on Friday. So I can't promise now that it won't get a little political, but
Yeah, bro.
you know, we're gonna keep it rated R for you motherfuckers.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right, man.
We're
Hide your
gonna have
kids,
it all
hide your
hang
wife.
out. We're gonna let it all hang out. And to quote the late great 6ix9ine, let your nuts hang, motherfucker. Let your nuts hang.
I don't know about the great
Have a
part,
great
but yeah, bro.
Monday.
Bye.